Yo, what's up guys, it's the Striker 93, and as you can see, the bike I'm currently filling up is not my bike. I've yet to post a video to YouTube explaining that my z650 has been totaled. I was hit by a car, and well, basically this car was turning out in front of me, and yeah, I went ploughing straight into the front of it because I couldn't move out of the way quick enough. Oh Jesus, how much do I need to fill you before you actually fill up? You've been filling it and filling it and filling it and filling it and filling it, even though it's above the top, and it's still not going above the top. Oh fuck it, I'll just leave it at that. Yeah. So yeah. My Z650, as I just said, is a write-off. Basically, as I was doing some shopping, I was just leaving, and as I was leaving, come down this hill, the car decided to pull right out in front of me whilst I was about 20 feet away from it, and yeah, I went head first into the front of her car. I went over the handlebars and over her bonnet, and onto the other side of the road. My bike, which took the full brunt force of the impact, obviously, was pretty beaten up. The front end of the bike snapped off. Yeah. Literally, the yoke's just snapped. I've got a bent front wheel, bent disc brake, maybe a bent frame. The tank was damaged, the front fairing was damaged. Right, and now I'm stuck behind two fucking buses. Yeah, all the exhaust pipes were fucking broken. There was a lot of damage basically to it. Like, I think I calculated it to be over £1,000 worth just in part damage alone. So it's expensive, so that's a write-off. And in the meantime, I've been given this, as you can see right here, is a Kawasaki Z800, and I thought I'd do a little review on it. Actually, I've ridden it for a fair few miles now, over 400, and guys, I've got to say, I think this, if I had the money, this would definitely be my next bike, because this is a truly incredible bike. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I'll go over all the pros and cons of it, and I'll start with the cons actually. There's not a superly large list of them, so it's easier to start with. So, yeah, sorry. Basically, the cons are, if you're in a town and the bike isn't started and you're trying to turn it, like you're turning out of a car parking space or something, you're going to have a bit of issue, because the turning circle isn't that good. Like, it locks up quite quickly. So that's a bit of an issue. I mean, turning out of a normal car parking space isn't exactly an easy feat with this, unfortunately. Another bad thing, the seat's a little bit hard. I suppose it's totally depending on what you're wearing. There are ways to get around that, and there's issues with that. Alright, there's issues with that. That is basically, the seat is kind of in a way a little bit designed to pull you into it. Like, what it does is it slopes down towards the tank, which kind of forces you down into the tank. And because it's doing that, you're kind of hunched over all the time, and it means that you're resting most of your weight on your wrists which can hurt as well. So as well as your arse hurting, your wrists can hurt as well. I mean, besides that, I mean, it's fairly fuel efficient for an 800. You can probably get about 200 miles to the tank, which is pretty good. I don't know how big the tank is though. So, but yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. Trying to think of other bad things about it, because there really aren't many. That's about it actually, really, to be honest. If I think of anything later on, I'll say it. Yeah, the good things though, I mean, I've never ridden a bike like this before. I mean, I've ridden stuff similar to it, like I've ridden a 1200 BMW Rockstar, and that's a very similar bike to this. Very similar kind of a seating arrangement, very similar feel to it. Even the bars are pretty similar. Oh shit. So yeah, they're very similar bikes, but this just kicks the fucking crap out of it. So like, right, I'll start with the ride. The ride comfort's really nice. You may seem like I'm bobbing around a bit here, and I am, but you don't really feel it that much. You notice you're bobbling around, but it's not quite as sharp as other bikes, you know. It's not a really intense kind of slamming up and down. You know, it's a really nice, comfortable ride. You know, I definitely give it, you know, a good rating on its ride. It's a fucking beautiful ride. But where it truly excels is its engine. I mean, I have just never seen an engine like this. I mean, I know it's a modern engine and all, but it's so nice. Like, it's so nice. Like the throttle and the torque, the sound of it, the feel of it, everything's just fantastic about it. I mean, it almost feels like it's an electric engine, the way it pulls off. I mean, there's torque no matter which kind of, like, no matter what RPM you're at, no matter what gear and speed you're at, there's always torque there. Always. You can be doing 20 miles an hour in 6th gear, pull the throttle back, and that's it. It's just there, you know. Which is fucking incredible. I mean, they've already made a cracking engine with this. It's quiet. I mean, this is a standard bike, so it's pretty quiet, but that's just the exhaust system. The engine itself sounds almost like it's an electric engine. It's that quiet. You just don't hear it. You don't get much vibration feedback from it. In fact, you get very little. The only vibration feedback I'm feeling, is on my knees, because they're literally right next to the engine. That's it. I don't feel it in the bars at all. It's lovely. You know, it's fucking awesome. I think the top end's like 145, and it pulls off like an absolute dream. It's a really nice bike. I mean, it's pretty fuel efficient. I mean, I just topped it up. On the mile range, I'm looking at 190 miles pretty much. So that's not that bad at all. And obviously it depends on how you ride it. To be honest, I've actually found at the moment that 4th gear appears to be the best gear to ride this bike. Like 5th and 6th don't seem to make much of a difference to your range, except for bringing it down, which is strange to me. But you know, so it's pretty fuel efficient, especially for an 804. I mean, I'll bring up one point, right? It's very, very easy to ride. It's very, very maneuverable. But I saw on some other videos about this bike that everybody criticises the weight of it, because it's not a lightweight bike. It's 290 kilos, I think. And to put that into perspective, it weighs more than the Z800. It weighs about actually the same as my z650 did. But I've got to admit, I see some videos, they sit there and they hammer the point that it's a heavy bike. I don't know why. Like, I really don't know why. It doesn't feel like a heavy bike. Like right now, it feels like I'm riding on air. It feels so lightweight. Okay, I'll admit, there are times in which you feel that it's heavy. People say that when you're going slowly through towns it feels heavy. I've not really felt it, to be honest, so I can't say I feel the same about that. However, it does feel heavy when you're trying to reverse it out of parking spaces. Like if the parking space you're reversing it out of is down an incline, so you have to pull it back up the parking space, that is when you really feel the weight. And because it's a sit-up bike and your feet are a bit awkward to touch the floor. I mean, I'm 6 foot and it's still kind of awkward to touch the floor on this bike. You know, it makes it a bit of a chore to pull out of parking spaces, and because it's not got a very good turning circle on it, you have to really pull it out before you can start turning on it. So it's a little bit irritating, you know. Besides that, it's just a joy to ride. It really is. I mean, it's such a chill bike to ride. Such a chill bike to ride. I mean, normally I'd be riding it a lot more harder than I am currently because it's wet, and it's the first time I've ridden this bike out in the rain. The past few days in which I've had it have been like 27 Celsius. Beautiful summer's day, even though it's not summer yet. But today it's been raining, so I'm a bit cautious. I've never ridden a sit-up, you know, style bike like this in the rain before, so it's new to me, so I'm not pushing it. But even then, it's performing beautifully. It's such a nice bike. There's not really much I can say bad about it, to be honest. I mean, it has some neat little features. So it's got ABS. I mean, I don't particularly like the fact it has ABS, to be perfectly honest with you. I found a few times that when heavy braking, it's actually interfered with my braking. Like, I can react perfectly fine myself, you know, when the back brake locks up, and I think that a system interfering with me in that kind of sense, it irritates the fuck out of me, you know. So I don't particularly like that. It's fuel injected, which is really nice because you can just literally hop on it in the morning straight out, no problem at all. It also has an auto choke on it, which means you can also just get straight on it and straight out because it automatically does the choke for you. You know, which is nice, and it doesn't really push that choke up very much. I mean, it pushes it up to about 2,000 RPM, that's about it, and it idles at like 1,000, so, you know, it's really not that bad. It's actually really nice, and you feel the chokes on a little bit, but not much. And holy fuck, that trash truck fucking stinks. But yeah, it's just a lovely bike to ride. I mean, it's expensive. That's the biggest issue with it. Like, I would 150,000% buy this for my next bike if I had the cash to do so. As I say, like, the absolute cheapest I've managed to find these bikes online for is like £4,700. And seeing as though they tend to average about, on eBay, about 7,500, that's really not bad. But you know, for a bike like this at that price, you've got to question what might be wrong with it, because I assure you parts for this bike probably won't be cheap. So you know, that's out of my price budget, to be honest. I'm not a rich man. You know, I mean, I'll probably get a couple of grand back off the Z650 on the insurance and whatnot, but it's not going to be enough to buy this. And I don't know what the insurance is like on this either. I haven't particularly bothered to check at the moment. I've been waiting for all the insurance stuff to go through before I even start looking at other bikes. You know, I will point out one thing, this does ride quite hot actually. It's 73 Celsius oil temperature at the moment. You know, and it's gone over to 102 before, so it can ride pretty hot. I want to point that out, that if you guys ever end up buying one, just watch that. Don't be too alarmed if it goes that high. You know, it's pretty normal. I mean, I was a bit panicky, to be honest, when it went up that high. But, you know, it's nothing to be worried about. Nothing to be worried about. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, guys. It's a beautiful, beautiful bike. I'd easily rate it probably an 8 out of 10 at least. And the only 2 points that are taken off of that is for comfort. Purely because that seat and the fact that it drags you into the tank, and as a male that crushes your balls. And it, you know, forces your weight down onto the bars, which can hurt your hands a bit. That's just a big downfall to me, because with this bike I have found that you just want to ride it. That's all I want to do. Like at the moment, I just want to ride it and 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 ride it. And unfortunately, because of the fact that the seat and whatnot aren't exactly very comfortable, you can't really ride it and ride it and ride it and ride it and ride it. I mean, the bike is very rideable, extremely rideable. I've never ridden a bike in which I want to just get on so much. But if they made the seat just a bit more comfortable, then I reckon it would 100% be an easy 9 out of 10 bike in my opinion. You know, so that's only really my little gripe about it. And I mean, it's only minor things, do you know what I mean? You can have a different seat put on it if you want. You can put different bars on it if you want. So, you know, those little gripes aren't particularly applicable. But yeah, man, I'll tell you what, guys, this is a truly, truly lovely bike. And if I ever get the chance to buy this bike, I will. Believe me, I'll look into it, because I really like it. God, look how much petrol's on the fucking road down here. Jesus. No. Fucking hate that road. And the fact that they actually make it a two-way road is fucking ridiculous. So I can go down it, but a car can come towards me as well, even though it's like barely fucking big enough for a car. It's ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave you with that. This is a fucking incredible bike. And if you have the money to go out and buy a bike like this, I'm jealous of you, and I would highly advise getting one. Definitely test ride it to see what it's like. I mean, if you get the chance to do that, shit, go over to a Kawasaki dealer and just fucking ask to test ride one just for the sake of it, because it's such a nice bike. Anyway, guys, I'll catch you later.